Hello friends, and welcome to our first May colour along. We're colouring from Pirates, and I'm very excited to be colouring Duplicates with a Difference for Pipe Dreams. I have just updated the whole of Pirates with some new illustrations, some revised illustrations, and a whole lot of Duplicates with a Difference, which I'm very excited about. Pirates has always been a fun book, but now it's even funner. So if you haven't got Pirates, you should think seriously about now and being a good time to grab it. This is Pipe Dreams, and I'm thinking that all of these fun little waves in the background, I am going to colour in, I was going for some blues, some sort of turquoise blue, frost blue, and maybe some of this horizon green, with a pale green for the darker spots. We'll see how we go. But I was going to start with the lightest one, which is frost blue. Well, before I start, let's get a little Now I have done a full flip through of this book, where I go through each of the illustrations and I show you what they used to look like and what they look like now. And that's available on my YouTube channel at rjhampson.com. And I am going to supply the old illustrations that are now gone, obsolete. I'm going to put those up as single sheets on my site. So if you've become attached or you want to play in some old illustrations, then you can easily just grab those and download them. I was just counting his legs because I wasn't sure if this was a leg or not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, let's just try out this turquoise blue and we'll see if it helps it darken up a little bit. We don't want much, we just want a little bit, just to give us some differentiation between these lines. And I'll do into consecutive lines, so there's one light, one blue, as best I can. I just think that's going to bring some fun texture by striping those colours. Well, I know that was a long process, but I found that to be really relaxing. So hopefully you find it to be a whole lot of fun too. Just filling in the lines, picking out which ones you want to colour darker and which ones you want to colour lighter. I'm bringing in a horizon green now. And I'm just going to see what happens if I add a little bit of that maybe to my darker colours where I want to create a bit of shadow effect. Now you could just as easily do this with pencils as with marker. And as you can see, this horizon green is not a big difference. It's just giving us a subtle little difference, which is going to add, I think, to our illustration. So it's already bringing it a little bit to life. It's also adding a little bit of that greeny turquoisey. It's almost disappearing from around where it dries. I think it gives us enough that it's worth doing. Now in the updated Pirates, there is still the poems, but I have also included these little inset illustrations on the other side of the page, which weren't in the original. And I've used this font as a more legible font, like a piratey script before. And the poem that goes with this one is, do pirates dream of what they've seen? How will we ever know? Of spinning tales, they're over keen, but I'd not tell them so. I'm not sure where poems in a pirate colouring book came from, but it just seemed to make sense to me. I had a fan send me some of the poems that she wrote for Lost in Time with Mr. Fogarty. She wrote a poem for many of the pages. It was lovely to see that level of creative inspiration. I don't know if I'll do poems in any of my other books, but it was fun to do in this one. Now, do we want to go even darker? I've got a pond green here, which is like deeper down that green. I'm just trying to pick out where I think like shadowy areas would be. Around here maybe. And the light colours I'm going to colour in with this dark green. Or the darker green. It's not actually dark green, is it? All right, well, that combination, I think, works really well. The light turquoise blues and the frost blue with adding that green in just brings it a bit to life, I think. Well, let's look at our pirate. I think what we need is a lovely navy for that hat. So let's have a look at our blues. I don't want to go too sort of cyany blue. I want to get a little bit of maybe some Indian blue or a vivid blue. Let's go Indian blue. That looks good. All right, here's our Indian blue. I'm going to try and find my Antwerp blue as well. Just seems like a lighter version of Indian blue, the Antwerp blue. Then I'll bring in my Indian blue. Well, it's all still wet. See if I can blend it in. Well, not a lot of difference there, really. I was thinking the Antwerp blue would be a little lighter. But on this paper, it's sort of blended. See what happens when it dries. About Napoleon blue. Hopefully this is a bit darker. I think a coral red. Let's get a coral red for coral haze. Let's go coral haze. Just for this little strip in here. Pastel peach. Let's pastel peach this skeleton and give it a lovely bone ivory colour. And we'll bring in a cool grey. This is 050. But I just want to bring in some shadows. I bought myself these recently, which is metallic, Ohuhu metallic pens. And I just was wondering whether I should bring in some gold trim to my pirate. I know it's early, but I'm just going to go with the gold. They're fun. They've got a brush nib and a fine nib. Try the brush nib. And look, while I've got this out, let's pick out some brass work. Guess it's not brass, is it? It's like gold tassels. I think these sleeves really need to be gold, as do these buttons. Well, let's look at his face. I'm just going to look at his skin. I was thinking of doing pastel peach, but I'm going to go with my skin white and maybe some pear colour. See what that does. I've used skin white before, but I've not used pear colour before. I know that there's a lot of difference, but we'll see. These tattoos are going to be fun to play with. This is my pear colour. And now that that's dried a bit, I'm hoping it'll give me a little bit of a variation. So when I mixed it when it was wet, it sort of just became the same colour, but now that it's dry, I want to shadow this nose. Right, that was pear colour. It's skin white now. I'm going to try and find something that's got a little bit more leathered skin of a pirate. Milk tea multi. Maybe we do need something that's a little pink. It's got a good name, chocolate pink, so maybe we could get some, just a little touch of pink into his lips. What about his cheeks? Right, we need a lovely dark colour for his eye patch. Oh, look, argyle purple. Got a bit of that sort of violety purple in it. While I've got that argyle purple out, I'm going to do maybe the stem of this pipe. Let's talk about the beard and the hair of this pirate. I don't think I want to go blonde because I want to bring yellow into there. Maybe a lighter sort of brown. I might go with a thin persimmon. See where a thin persimmon gets us. I think that's a good undercolour. Right, we've got a thin persimmon. We need something to darken it a little bit, so maybe this red bean. Let's go with a red bean. Another good name for a pen, red bean. And these I want to mix while they're wet. I'm bringing out the big nib for this. I'm just going to use these lines as an indicator of where I should put my red bean. I'm going to use that red bean to colour my pipe. Milk tea multi. Oh, this beautiful argyle, like mauvey, darky brown colour. It's called argyle purple. I'm just going to use that in these sleeves. What about on the inside of that pipe? And I might bring my pastel peach back in on these bones. And I'm just bringing my gold metallic back in to fill this gap. Okay, folks, what colour do you think we do his jacket? I'm not quite sure. I'm going to avoid it for now. Come back at it later. Got pastel peach. I'm going to make this like a little bone trophy here. And let's pull that Indian blue from the hat into this. Actually, let's do that. And blue, bring back our coral haze. And maybe our multi-tea, no, milk tea multi. This colour called shell white, which is what I was thinking of colouring in this seagull. Do the extremities of the seagull in that shell white. Something really, really light, almost white. I'll just bring my pastel peach back in. Trusty pastel peach. What we need now is some colourless blender. Let's just blend that out. I'm bringing in my Cool Grey 050. Got a Cool Grey 083. And then I think we need some beak colour. So I have my lemon yellow and my melon yellow. All right, I just want to take on this little jug. And to do that, I'm going to use these three colors. I have a mint green light. No, this is a new color. This is turquoise green light, an acid green, and a pale green. I just want to try and bring this bottle. So one of those green glass bottles. So I'm just building up from the acid green through to the pale green. And then this is my turquoise green light. Let's just bring that acid green back in to sort of smooth it out a bit. And I guess you can see the acid green through. And I'm just going to colour this little octopus. And I'm tempted to do the same colours, strange as that may sound, that I did with the bottle. A bit of acid green, a bit of pale green. And then our turquoise green light. So that was acid green. This is pale green. Turquoise green light. Make sure to leave his eyes white. All right, now pale green. Using our turquoise green light. I'm just going to grab my colourless blender and add some little clear spots to his head. And maybe pull out some of that colour from the suction caps. And while I'm here, let's just bring in some of our turquoise blue. Make that wave that I missed before. Turquoise blue and maybe in there. Okay, people, let's talk about this ship in the background. But before we do the ship, let's talk about the sky. And I want to play, I'm loving the acid green bottle, and I want to bring some of that acid green into this part of the illustration. But I'm thinking of doing it in the sky, so it's like an acid green sunset. So what I'm going to do is get my colourless blender and saturate that paper with a bit of the colourless blender, and then bring in my acid green, sort of speckle it up because I want it to fade to nothing, if you know what I mean. And then back with the colourless blender. And while that's still wet, let's bring in our pale green. And I'll do the same sort of thing, blend that up into I guess it's a storm brewing. But what I'll do is blend that in with my acid green. And then finally, our turquoise green light. Just bring back our acid green to sort of blend that a bit too. And then I want to repeat that all around there, so colourless blender. page nice and wet. Let's see how far we can go. Let's take it up here too. Try to avoid the sails because you want them to stay white. Alright, well that's nice and wet. Get some acid green in there. That should absorb into those wet parts and hopefully blend to nothing at the top. You can just sort of spot it in and then smudge it in later with the colour blender. Right, pale green. Blend in that pale green. Oh, I think I've painted my sail there. Avoid that if you can, that triangle sail. And bring back out acid green. I'm going to colour it all in now and just see if we can salvage it later. And maybe it's just strings there for now. Shell white. Let's do shell whites for the sails. Maybe shell white with a bit of pastel peach. This pastel peach is a useful colour, isn't it? I need something a little bit darker. Maybe just grab some of that cool grey 050. Bring some shadow into these undersides of the sails. All right, let's get some colour on that boat. And I want to use some of these colours that I used earlier, which were what? You can remember. Red bean. You could use walnut or whatever your favourite wood colour is. We'll do the top of the boat and the bottom of the boat in that red bean. Or the hull, sorry. And I think we need a lighter colour, which is what we did that beard. What did we do that beard? I think it was thin persimmon. Let's bring that colour in for this section. Where I've got my Argyle purple. Let's just pick out some shadows underneath the hull here. And then bring our red bean back into play. And turquoise blue, let's reflect that in the portholes. And like a melon yellow maybe for the gold trim of the boat, the anchor and these porthole covers. Turquoise green light. I need a darker one than that. Like a dark green or something. It's a forest green. And I just want to bring some of the acid green back to maybe just highlight our sails. So some of that green sunset is. All right, let's move on across to the mermaid. Oh, we're here now. Let's do the whale. What do we think for the whale? Let's bring some blues for the whale. Bluey greys, maybe. All right, let's play with this, see what this color is. Because I've got the green of the boat, sky, the bottle, and the octopus. So let's maybe play with the color of this hat. Bring some of those sort of purpley blues out for the whale. Bring in some greyish blue, just to, it's a bit darker than that pale blue violet that we had. This is our light hydrangea. I'm going to leave his teeth white. All right, let's move over to this mermaid. I guess it's a mermaid. This is my light hydrangea, which is what we use for the whale, the underbelly of the whale. And I'm going to give her a light hydrangea tail. And bringing some of that greyish blue in to play with some of those, to bring texture and stuff into these scales. So I'm just colouring in the top of the scales. I'm going to do her two shell bikini with the same colours. Pale blue violet, I think, should be her hair. And while I'm here, I've noticed that I've missed a little bit of turquoise border there. And I think we need some skin white for her. I'm tempted to do her green, but I might stick with skin white. Because I maybe have gone a little bit down the lime green path, as is my want. So let's pull it back from the brink with some skin colours. Let's do some hair colour. First shadows under the eyes, under the lips. And I'm just wearing some pale grey, cool grey 050. That's what we've been using, isn't it? Maybe some shadows underneath. Although, is that enough? Maybe a darker one. Cool grey 083. What I think we really need is some metallic. What have I got? Some lilac. Let's do some metallic lilac and dark blue. Let's use the fine nib. I think we need metallics on this tail. It's a mermaid after all. You don't have to do this. I just need an excuse to use some metallics on this. Maybe some metallics here. I actually think the brush nib gives you a finer nib. Gives you a finer nib. Well, let's try the dark blue colour. Maybe we just tip each scale. And add some strands into the hair, maybe. Maybe we do some of that for our whale as well. All right, I'm happy with that. Let's move on now down to our fish. And this is the last of our little creatures, this little fish. And I'm going to do the same sort of blues. We've got the greens going on 3 things, we've got the blues going on a few things. Light hydrangea. I'm going to stop that there and maybe do his fins that same colour. Maybe a pale blue violet. And let's give him some greyish blue lips. And greyish blue scales. Let's bring back that metallic pen. It's a sort of a light purpley one. Give this fish some eyeliner maybe. I think just do that same thing where we bring the tips of the scales into that metallic. Once again, you don't have to do this, but if you've got some glittery things, why not use them, hey? Actually, I've got white. Use the white of that. I haven't used that before. Does that give us the ability to sort of highlight as we go with a glittery white? I think it sort of does. Let's play with it, see what it does. And one last colour. Maybe we need some chocolate pink for inside that mouth. Actually, I might play with chocolate pink a little bit, just warm this up. All right, people, we've got our lovely green octopus, our green sunset, our green bottle, and our blue fish. So the time has come. What colour are we going to do his jacket? Well, I'm thinking it could be fun to do that in a green. So maybe we start with our. So I would use the green shadow maybe to make highlights, and then come in with my turquoise green light into that. Sort of blend it a bit. Really get the shadows happening with our forest green. I don't mind getting a little bit of texture in this. And use that green shadow to sort of blend it all up again. All right, let's do his other arm. Same treatment. Actually, let's see how we go if we just colour the whole arm in that. Some turquoise green light. And some forest green. With a bit of texture. And bring in that lighter green to blend it all together. There's forest green. I might go darker, a little bit darker on the bottom here. And some forest green, finally. Bit of blending. I'm loving this texture we've got in this jacket. Alright, we've got the green shadow. Let's just play with these tattoos. Big green tattoos. Maybe we throw some acid green in there just for fun. Just a little bit. Maybe some here too. Alright guys, we're almost there, aren't we? We're almost there. Let's play with that feather on the top of his hat, maybe. Milk tea, multi. And give it a stem. Well, we got that out. Let's just finish off our bottle. I think we need a yellow. Let's go with the lemon yellow. And we'll bring out our melon yellow. And just contrast those colours in the stripes. Maybe put a bit of yellow in that skull. Alright, let's play with, this is my Cool Grey 050. Just want to bring some more shadows in to these areas. think we need some more shadows on his face as well. Maybe over here, under his nose. Under his hat. White jelly roll. This is my 1.0 or 10. You know, we're nearing the end when we're pulling out the white highlighter, aren't you? Don't you? We need some of that in her hair. Maybe some bigger dots around her. Oh, I'm smudging it. Stop smudging it, Russ. And I think what we need is some more texture in this beard. Well, there it is. Pipe Dreams. We'll call that one finished for today, people. I really appreciate you watching and joining me in for this colour along from Pirates. The new Pirates, the new updated 2025 edition with duplicates with a difference. And this is the duplicate version of Pipe Dreams. It's the original version. So much in the new Pirates, so make sure you check it out. And really appreciate, again, you watching. I will see you in another video But for now, I'm going to say goodbye. See you later, guys. Thanks for watching.